low ATP. You down with low ATP? This is the energy currency in your body, ATP. You need it. It is your energy process. So this is where we're going to get into boosting energy versus cellular energy. Big difference, peeps. Can have some coffee and gives you a little bit of an energy boost, right? Have some caffeine, give you a little bit of energy boost. You could even put electrolytes in and feel some energy, okay? There's nothing wrong with that. As long as they're clean sources that are organic, they don't have a bunch of sugar and they don't have chemicals in there, that's okay. But that's not fixing at a cellular level what's going on for you to generate enough ATP to power your body and anything that you want it to do. It's going to start to break down, or it's giving off so much byproduct, that soot that's building up in your body, that it ends up creating inflammation and health problems long term. So we don't want to just jump the batteries. We want to fix the engines. This is the Krebs cycle, okay? And then how your body takes glucose, sugar, main source of energy, glucose in the body, whether it comes from protein sources, or which is another process to get to this point, or just comes from carbohydrates or vegetables or fruits that we eat. And then it takes it to glycolysis. It generates a byproduct called pyruvate, and then we're going to talk about it. Starts kicking off ATP at that point. At each stage here, it kicks off some ATP. It also kicks off another byproduct called NADH. Very important. Keep that in your mind. We're going to talk about it in a second. Overall, this entire cycle goes into a Krebs cycle and electron transport chain. You don't have to understand this entire process, but this is what's going on in your body to produce 36 ATP per molecule of glucose. It is an incredible engine. It is the most sophisticated and most efficient energy productive system on the planet. It is insane how much ATP, billions of units a day, that you generate. This is all happening in the little factories of your cells called your mitochondria. Those are what's generating this. So the health of the mitochondria, the health of the cell, is going to make up the health of you. You got a couple trillion of them. If you got unhealthy cells, you're unhealthy. If you got unhealthy mitochondria, you can't generate the energy you need. Or if you're unhealthily kicking out ATP with not so good sources of glucose, at what cost are you toxifying your cell with the byproduct of what's coming out? We're going to talk all about this, right? NADH, okay, this one right here is a big one we need to talk about. One of the first crucial steps of how the body breaks down and produces ATP. So here's 36 ATP. NADH is one of the first steps that gets kicked off. So right up at the top here, when glycolysis begins, 2 ATPs are generated and 2 NADHs are generated. Now that's important because those are carried down, and those are going to be the key component that allows at the very end of this cycle to crank out 32 of the ATPs. So this NADH powers the electron transport chain. Just a little bit of high level science behind it. So NADH is step one. That's the first thing that your body needs. The second thing it needs is CoQ10. CoQ10 in this process allows the NADH to be taken and travel to the energy production steps. So without the CoQ10, your body gets in trouble. It's an antioxidant that's going to protect that energy production and allow the NADH to be used for ATP production. So it's the combo of those to help this process exist. Without the proper amount of CoQ10, energy production slows or shuts down. That's why a lot of people that are taking statin medications have problems with cramping and muscle issues. They tear their Achilles, they get a lot of cramping in their legs, because the factory where CoQ10 is made is the same factory in your body that cholesterol is made. So when you shut down with certain medications a portion of your cholesterol production, you also shut down that CoQ10 production. So this becomes very crucial for statin takers. Please listen up, because this is one of the most crucial nutrients you have to have if you're taking those. But for all of us, we still need proper amounts of CoQ10. We generally don't generate enough of it. Now, pharmaceutical companies have caught on to this. They're literally trying to halt the production of NADH in a supplement form. They're trying to patent it and block it. There's all these lawsuits. Of course, Big Pharma is, we understood and we studied the Krebs cycle as well. Looks like NADH right there is a key ingredient for producing energy. Let's go and try to get a lockdown on that one and control that market so that I'll let you just figure that one out. Stop it. Just stick with chemicals and drugs. Stay the heck out of natural things that our body is using in foods that we can use to get healthy. NADH, CoQ10. When you use the two of them together, you're prompting basically from step 1 to get to step 4. This is what feeds step 1 getting to step 4. So they did studies on this. And when you combine the two of them together and you're doing an oral dose of CoQ10 and NADH, there was significant improvement in fatigue and biochemical parameters in chronic fatigue syndrome. So when they did the testing scores of how their quality of life was doing, their sleep duration, their sleep efficiency. All these things were improving. And people were beginning to beat fatigue by getting proper amounts of NADH and CoQ10, because with the foods that we're eating, the sources of the glucose, the chemicals that go into our cells, that's why energy food is important. Because a lot of us aren't getting these proper amounts, we're trying to conduct this process without clean sources, and our factories are being infected by medications, by other chemicals, and so we're not having ample supplies of CoQ10 or NADH so that this can be smoothly operated. So we're grinding our gears to try to do it. So that's why these things start to become important, NADH and CoQ10, to producing clean energy. What else is needed in this process to make it go? From a biochemical level, magnesium is needed to convert in the body NAD plus into NADH. So your body can also convert and make its own, which is a good thing. We want that to be happening. So we want to put in some sources of NADH. We want to make our own. Magnesium is required in order to make that jump from NAD plus to NADH. That's another crucial one in this step here. And then finally, B vitamins are required to operate almost every step on this right-hand side, especially electron transfer chain. So making NADH requires several genes and many different vitamins, specifically B vitamins, to turn on those genes so they function normally. This starts to get into those that suffer with MTHFR gene mutations, proper function in the liver, proper function in the cells, lack, which leads to toxicity issues, which leads to inflammation issues if we don't have proper vitamins activating these processes. B vitamins are involved with so many chemical processes in the body. Magnesium involved with 600 different chemical processes within the body. We need these sort of cofactors to make a huge difference here. So this is just the breakdown of looking at energy production. When I started to do my research, what does the body need at a cellular level? NADH, to make sure we're producing enough of it, with magnesium, with B vitamins, but these nutrients that are involved in this chemical process. So taking my days of biochemistry, doctoral work, and then cross-referencing it with the actual research. CoQ10, that transfer molecule. Magnesium's impact on chronic fatigue. B1, it converts food to energy. That's literally the job of B1. B6 helps to convert food to energy. B12 is essential for cellular energy production, but it's got to be the right type. If you get cyanocobalamin, that is a synthetic form. It is a non-converted form. It's useless to your body, and for some people, in my opinion, potentially harmful. So we have to have methylated versions of these B vitamins. And then when it comes to magnesium, which one? Which one do I use? I like all 7. I like to have a variety of different ones because there's different energy processes. And when you're talking about 600 different interactions, different types of magnesium help with those different interactions because of the cofactor of what they're attached to. Magnesium needs a ride into your body. So it has to be attached to something. It has a vehicle to get it in. What you attach it to accesses. So if you put it on a bus, it can only go certain places. If you give it a scooter or a bike, it can go different places. If you give it a semi, it might be too tall to fit into certain places, like the blood-brain barrier. It can't squeak across, but that scooter can get across. See what I'm saying? So it's different areas of the body. So you need whatever vehicle you attach magnesium to, that's what gets it in. So that's why it's not one size fits all when it comes to magnesium getting into the system. So this process right here, give it the nutrients through food. That's why eating for energy is so important. So I believe if you're following so far, eating for energy, the most important thing. For those of you, I'm trying to do a good job. I'm doing the best I can. I'm making progress in that arena. I'm doing maybe some exercises, maybe got some electrolytes in to help with the short-term energy. You can fix your cellular energy. And I believe when you do that, you heal not only feeling better and performing better, but your brain and your heart and your digestive system and the inflammation in your liver, all boats rise when you fix how your body makes its one major need of ATP. You can do it.